If you are doing even more work and you are still waiting for that elusive promotion, this one's for you. I'm Kendall, I'm that career coach, and I help people navigate the secrets of the career game to find their success and upward mobility. And today we are talking about how to get promoted without burning out. So, people often will confuse the idea of doing more work for doing the right work. And when it comes to moving the needle in your corporate job or finding success and progression, it's going to come down to delivering maximum impact. Maximum impact does not always mean maximum output. Okay, it doesn't always mean that you're doing the most or working the longest hours or you're online until 10 p.m., but it means that the work you're doing is incredibly effective, it's impactful to the company's bottom line or highest priorities, and it delivers visible leadership impact. All right, this is what's going to be key. If you are focused so much on doing everything everybody asks you to do, and I love a high level of urgency, don't get me wrong, but if you're responding to every email in 10 seconds and you're constantly in your chat and you're not delivering the big, meaningful, large, impactful work because instead you're focused on delivering everything that everybody needs, you are going to burn out and probably still not get promoted, because your promotion is going to be about the promotable work that you did. And some work that you're going to be asked to do will be what I consider non-promotable. And I talk about this in my book, Secrets of the Career Game. Non-promotable work is the work that is given to you that doesn't add company value in a way that goes above and beyond your current seniority level. So for example, if I hire someone to run a report every Friday at 8 a.m., and they come in and they run the report every Friday at 8 a.m., and there's nothing wrong with it, there's no errors, it goes out, and other than that, I never hear from this employee again. Am I going to promote them? Probably not. I'm not going to fire them. They're doing the job I hired them to do, and they're doing it well, but I'm not going to promote them for doing exactly what I hired them for. Now, if I hire someone to run that report and they never run it, am I going to promote them? No, but I'm probably going to fire them, right? So non-promotable work does need to be done or delegated or deprioritized formally, but it needs to be done. The difference is if I hire someone to run a report on Fridays at 8 a.m. and they go meet with everyone who receives that report to understand how they're using it. And based on those meetings, they make recommendations to improve that report. And then once those recommendations have been tested, they automate it. So instead of it taking 12 hours a week to run, now they're going to run it in 15 minutes. And then they make a slideshow presentation about why they made the changes that they made, what impact the changes are, and the new speed of automation. And then they go and they meet with every single one of their stakeholders and their boss and their boss's boss, and they present this deck of what they've done to this report. Then am I going to promote them? Probably. Now, they took non-promotable work and they made it promotable. They made it impactful, they made it high visibility, they made it company changing. Now it is promotable work. So non-promotable work isn't bad, but it has to be assessed. And the best things you can do with non-promotable work is either automate them so they don't take any of your time anymore and they get done and you can focus on other cooler things. Repackage them, like the example I just gave, where now this is repackaged into a large new initiative that's delivering all this impact and it's automated and it's great. Or you want to delegate as much of it as possible. Now, you will always have some amount of BAU non-promotable work in your job that you just have to do. It's not fun and it's not flashy. Where it starts to get dangerous is when it becomes more than 30% of your job. If more than 30% of your job is non-promotable, non-visible, non-impactful work, you are at risk of elimination and definitely not getting promoted. Okay, so make sure that you are really honed in on what you're working on and you're focused on doing promotable work. Now, when it comes to getting promoted, promotion is a combination of performance and your perception across the firm. So there's something called a 9-box. Again, it's a whole chapter in my book. If you're interested, go check it out. But the 9-box is basically on one axis, your performance. How are you doing? How are you performing? Are you delivering what you're supposed to be delivering? And the other axis is your potential, right? Your perception. Basically, how senior, how capable do I think you are or could be in the future? And those two things get plotted together. So you can be really high performance, really low potential. You're great at doing your job, but we think you're kind of capped out at your seniority. And this means you lack communication skills, you lack storytelling skills, or you lack visibility. All right. You can also be really low performance, but really high potential, meaning your current job is actually not a great fit for you. It's not playing to your strengths, it's not playing to your skills. But we see that you could be an excellent senior leader. You just need to be put somewhere different. And that often ends up with a reorg or termination, and they hope that you will find a role that's a better fit for you in the future. Okay. But a 9 box is often, not always, but often used in conversations about promotions, whether it is used formally or it is used informally. Because if you're doing a bunch of non-promotable work, you're going to score high on performance but low on potential. Now, if you're starting to change a lot of that non-promotable work to large-scale impact, it's getting more visibility, you're doing road shows, you're learning to communicate, now you're getting higher in potential, but you're keeping your high level of performance. And then if you're somebody who can do both, who can strategically align the work that they're doing with the goals of the company, who can articulate their impact, who's educating their boss consistently on the things they're working on and why they're important, then you're going to end up in the top right, which is that high performance, high potential square. Okay. If you can get there, that's how you get promoted. Because the worst thing that happens in promotion conversations is poor little Susie. We get to her performance review and her boss has her up for promotion. And everybody goes, what do we think about Susie? And we're like, Susie's great. Susie does an excellent job. Susie has great attention to detail. Susie delivered this one thing for my team that went really well. And I go, okay, great. She's up for promotion. Who thinks she's ready to be a manager or lead a larger project or step into a more senior role? And you can hear crickets. Because as much as everybody loves Susie, her potential's low. She doesn't communicate, she doesn't roadshow, she doesn't tie her work to impacts. And so as great as everybody thinks she is, we can't justify giving her a more senior position. And that's where people really get stuck. The decision is not up to your manager alone. It is up to a room full of people who are assessing your visibility and your communication skills. So if you do want to get promoted without burning out, you need to transform your non-promotable work into promotable. You need to communicate your impact and your value and the things you're working on to more stakeholders than you think, not just your boss, but lots of your boss's peers. And you need to be displaying that potential. Oh, this person could be put on lots of different projects and be successful, or they could lead lots of different teams and be successful. You need to be able to communicate that. Because in the end, we all, not all of us, most of us want to get promoted. Most of us want to progress. But the difference between the people who actually get it and the people who are promised, hey, just next year, maybe in 6 months, maybe in 12 months, every single cycle, the difference is communication and visibility. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, go ahead and hit subscribe for more great videos like this. Otherwise, check back in next week.